This is Micornus, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. And I want you to follow us as we're building trust with other people. And these are ways of building trust with other people. And I want to deal with this because I know there are many of you young men that are not trusted anymore. There are those of you who are really striving to build trust with other people, but you are struggling actually to hit the button of people trusting you. But I'm giving you these tips today of how to build trust with other people. The first thing that I want you to be able to see is you must make careful decisions in your life if you are to build trust. Because the decisions that you make in life, they speak of you. The decisions that you make in life, they make you. You become a product of your own decisions in life. And I want to emphasize this because many people have made in diabolic mistakes by making wrong decisions. And those decisions have defined them, and people cannot trust them anymore. I want to give an example with young men that make decisions to choose to go out with gangsters, to go out with drug dealers, for instance. That's a wrong decision for you as a young man. But now because you associate with this type of people, you are being seen that way. Now, the trust that people don't have upon those type of people, they don't have trust on you as well. Now, the decisions that you make must be crucial for you to make right decision and careful decisions as well that calculate the consequences. And I must really say that every decision that you make, you must look at the consequences. What will be the consequences of this? If I make this decision, how would I be in the next 5 years? If I choose this type of a decision, and how will it result into in the next 10 years or so? How would I be in the next 20 years? And that's the type of careful decision making. You don't just make a decision now, and that decision actually derails you. And we have seen young men that have made wrong decisions in the past. Decisions about people that they hang around with. Decisions about careers, how to make choices of careers. Decisions of choosing relationships as well. And those are type of decisions that are very crucial in your life. And the sequence of decisions becomes very important as well, because sometimes you are discredited by the sequencing of your decisions, whereby you have chosen things that were supposed to be chosen later, and you choose them now, and then they complicate your whole process of life. And then you find that when you reach a certain point, because you've made these particular choices in the past, they disqualify you in certain areas of your life. For an example, if you make a choice that you're going to bunk school as a young man, leave school as a young man, and go to work earlier, that's the wrong decision, because that decision may complicate you later when you're grown up. You may not be able to go back to school because you will be old that time, and you don't have guts to go and school with young people anymore, and time has run out. But because of that, that disqualifies you into the economy and participate into the wealth of this world or this country. And this is very key for you to realize that decisions may actually determine your destiny. Because that's very important that you become careful, that you are calculating your destiny properly. You know where you're going, you know who you are as well, and then you line up your decisions based on the destiny. Align your decisions as well according to who you are, because you must understand yourself and you must know your destiny. And when you know that, then you are able to make careful decisions within your fold, and you are able to follow decisions that you have calculated very carefully. And this is very key, because if you're not able to look at your decisions carefully, you're going to have a problem of actually deciding wrongly. And because of the wrong decisions that you have done in your life, it may destroy and derail the rest of your life completely, and you may not be able to recover from it. So make careful decisions in your life. And I want to emphasize that. Now, the second thing as a young man, if you are to restore trust or to build trust with other people, you need to be consistent in your actions. And this is close to my heart as well. Consistent in your actions. This is close to my heart as well. Don't do things just now and forget about doing them tomorrow. Don't just do things and because your emotions are feeling good right now. Whatever you make as a decision and you want to consistently do it, you want to make sure that you do that consistently. For instance, if you want to study, you must study consistently. If you want to exercise, exercise consistently. If you want to be a child of God, going to church every Sunday, be consistent with it as well. You know what? Because that will actually build a certain posture of your life. This will develop a certain view that people develop from you. They see you this way. Let's give an example. A young man who would grow up consistently going to church, consistently serving God. And what it does, it actually builds trust because they would know if they were to say somebody has been killed and away from church on a Sunday morning, this particular time between 9 o'clock maybe to 12 o'clock where everybody knows you to be in church, and they say you've been killed somewhere or somebody that looks like you've been killed somewhere, many people, because of their trust for you, they are going to talk for you and say it cannot be him. The reason is because they trust you based on the particular habit that you've developed of going to church every Sunday morning at a certain time. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's very important that you develop what you develop consistently. Be consistent with it, that you are known for it. Can I say this? That you are known for what you do consistently. Or rather, what you do consistently in your life makes who you are. It gives you a name. Let's give an example. A drunkard is called a drunkard because he's drinking consistently. He's drinking alcohol consistently. Now, a drug addict is called a drug addict. And that's a name for somebody who is consistently taking drugs. You cannot be called a drug addict because you're not consistent with it. But those that are consistent with drug addiction, then you're called a drug addict. Now, I want you to understand that concept because that is exactly what is out of this point, that be consistent in all your actions. You would know that sports people are called sports people because they're consistent in sports. They are not visiting sports. They are consistent with what they are doing. This is very important. And I'm mentioning the issue of consistency because many of us as young people take it light and we just live casually and we just do things when we want. For instance, young people that go to church, they'll tell you church is boring. And they'll go to church once after a while. And they are not known for this thing. You tell them pray, they'll pray once after a while. And they're not consistent with that. Anything that you do and you're not consistent in, you cannot establish yourself in it. And therefore, you cannot be trusted by anybody within that line because nobody would know you regarding that. Because immediately you become consistent with anything that you do, whether it's your work, you become specialist in that area. And then people trust you because of what you do consistently. Let's give you another example. A plumber is known because he is doing plumbing every time and consistently so. And an electrician is doing electricity work consistently. And the more they do that, is they are trusted in that. Why? Because they've developed this particular experience as well, that many people trusted them based on the experience. They've seen you doing electrician work before, then they trust you with their electricity because people trust the people that they've seen them doing something. They trust somebody who has been consistent in something. And hence, you have realized that even when you are applying for a job, many times they will say, we need experience from you. What are they talking about? Have you been consistent in doing what we require you now? And that's an experience that we're talking about. And that makes people to trust you. Because if you have done this consistently before, people start trusting you and know that you are therefore capable of doing it because we can trust you because you've done it consistently. And I want to emphasize the fact that consistency builds your character. Consistency makes you to be trusted by people. Consistency makes a reputation for you. And things that you are not consistent with, you cannot master. And when you don't master something, you cannot expect people to trust you within that line of things. And I want you to be aware of that as we close right now. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of Young Men Empowerment Forum. I want you to be aware of our social media platforms, our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum, Facebook page, Micornus Phokane. So follow us there, click notification buttons as well, and like those pages. And make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Micornus Phokane and Young Men Empowerment Forum. Don't forget our TikTok account as well. It is there for you. Follow us there. All these materials are there for you and very important. May the good Lord bless you. And I believe that you're going to be continue listening to us as we go for part 3 of this great topic tomorrow. May the good Lord bless you and say cheers for now.